Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. Charlie Kaufman seems to confound moviegoers with each of his movies, making us question what's real, what's fictional, and what it all means in the end. These Kaufmanisms are on full display in his latest, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's now streaming on Netflix, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. The phrase, I'm thinking of ending things, is mentioned multiple times in voiceover from Jessie Buckley's character. She's credited as young woman, but is also referred to as Lucy and Louisa. She's on a road trip to meet her boyfriend's parents despite the fact that she's ending this new relationship with boyfriend Jake, who's played by Jessie Plemons. It's a snowy trip to a small farmhouse full of character and history. It's an eye-opening dinner not only for our characters but for the audience, as Kaufman shifts the concept of time and aging, blending what's real and tangible and what might be a memory recall. Throughout this, we're introduced to a quiet old man who works as a high school janitor. It also stars Toni Collette and David Thewlis as Jake's parents. Now, this is all happening on the surface. Kaufman has adapted Ian Reid's novel to fit his voice and style. Kaufman's earlier films, being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Adaptation, Synecdoche, New York, just to name a few, should give you an indication that he doesn't make it easy for his audience. You may pick up on the fact that Jessie Buckley's character's name changes, as well as her career changes throughout the film. Her voiceovers are poetic ramblings of what she's contemplating. It's one of the many storytelling devices Kaufman throws out there. He uses a variety of references, whether it's film critic Pauline Kael or the musical Oklahoma, as inspiration to what happens between our central couple. Now, the tricky nature to this is that Kaufman risks losing his audience if they don't readily pick up on everything that he's doing. He forces you to pay attention throughout, listening to every word, as he isn't afraid to let certain scenes play out longer than you would typically find in today's movies. A blizzard adds that haunting nature to their road trip. Thankfully, he has Jessie Buckley and Jessie Plemons, who are so engaging together. So much of the movie relies on their dialogue and interactions while stuck together in this car. These characters are great acting roles for both of them to show off the depth of balancing the intimately quiet moments with their theatrical-sized outbursts. Kaufman seems to visualize the mental gymnastics we all go through to justify our actions and how we stick around longer than necessary just to make life easier. Kaufman asserts that sometimes our wild thoughts are closer to the truth than we want them to be. His movies are a bunch of wild thoughts. The truth in his movies is what you make of it. You may question what exactly is happening and where this movie is going. I like when directors leave it up to the audience to put the pieces together as to how we see fit without giving us all the answers. I have certain thoughts about what might have happened in this movie, and it could be very completely different than what Kaufman intended, or what others may get from this movie. Others may call this pretentious, and will hate the random devices and metaphors used throughout. Luckily, I'm Thinking of Ending Things is streaming on Netflix, so you can rewatch it on a loop if need be. I'm giving I'm Thinking of Ending Things 4 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel for some other Netflix reviews, as well as my appearances on Twin Cities Live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. I'd love to hear what you think of this movie. It's very divisive. And then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more reviews. Thank you so much for watching my review of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is Paul's Trip to the Movies.